So Leigh, on behalf of Graham Whittaker, our support liaison officer, I'd just like to say thank you for giving him this opportunity to ask you the questions on behalf of the supporters.
Yeah.
Firstly, I'd like to thank the board and all of the employees for their efforts to keep the club going during this hard time. He knows how hard yourself, Stefan and Dan and all the staff at the club are working to keep things going. These are unprecedented times, but he knows that the club will get through this if everyone works together. Now, he spoke on social media last week just trying to get some questions from fans, so we'll start off with, are you happy with the support that the EFL and the government have given the club?
Yes, I mean, by and large, I am. It's difficult for all of us. I think the government in particular have helped. There's a loan that we're in the process of accessing. It'll help us with some of the wages of people that would be displaced, particularly in the commerce and events side of the business, which has been hit very, very hard. So far, yes. And the EFL, remember that the EFL, they're advancing us cash that would be there ours anyway. So, it's very important to understand they're not giving us something; they're actually lending us something that we're going to have to pay back. And you can't finance a football club or any business on lending money for too long. So we have to do that very carefully and very thoughtfully, rather than grab anything that comes our way, because it makes our lives easier in the short term and makes our lives very difficult in the long term. So we have to be really careful about it. But generally, I think the EFL and the government have stepped up pretty well. So, fair play.
And Graham says he's been fortunate enough to buy himself a season ticket, but for some supporters they're finding it difficult. He appreciates that the club wants as many supporters as possible to continue buying their season tickets, but somebody's asked, can we have an extension to the early bird and then an interest-free option payment with a deposit? This payment plan will benefit the club cash flow now and help the supporters. Can you just talk us through if anything is being put in place?
Yeah, the answer is yes. Today we will put in a new payment plan, interest-free, which will be published later today. Keeping it very simple, basically you can secure your season ticket with 33% down and then 33% paid on the 1st of May and the 1st of June. So I personally, and I'm sure the club recognise that the state the world is in at the moment, parting with cash for a season ticket might not be the number one priority. And therefore we should try and make it as easy as we possibly can, whilst at the same time protecting the fact that we want season tickets and we need the cash. So we've agreed that we will extend the offer by a week, by the way. So it won't finish in 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time, on the 7th of April. And the fact of the matter is we'll spread the payments over 3 equal instalments. And hopefully that will help the fans buy the season tickets, and it will generate the cash that we need as a football club. But I recognise how tough it is out there. I want to thank those that have made the commitment already, by the way, and of the season tickets, which is still remarkably good in the circumstances. I'm really pleased. But you can see as the coronavirus becomes a stronger headwind, the number of season tickets tends to fall off, and that it's clearly there. So I've got to try and find a way of stimulating the season ticket demand, and hopefully this will do it. If I need to do more, I'll do more. But at the moment, spreading it over 3 equal instalments and extending the season ticket period, the early bird for a week, hopefully that will trigger some more interest and allow people to pay in a more measured way than just lumping it all up at the beginning of the season ticket. So very important subject, very important.
And elsewhere, the government have announced several measures that will help the club, and as you said, many of these will have to be repaid. There are loans that are coming towards the club, sort of thing, but are there any other parties that can help the club through this tough phase?
Well, there are. I mean, I think the bank is one of them. They've been, to be fair, they've been very helpful. So they're certainly one of the parties that we've spoken to and found them extremely helpful. But the PFA, I have to say, have been incredibly quiet. I hope there's conversations going on with the EFL and the PFA. If they are, I'm not aware of them, but the PFA have been extremely quiet, and I find that very disappointing. And there are other parties, I'm sure, that I will be speaking to, and giving them some tough news about the fact that Walsall Football Club will not be paying them for a while. We're in that situation. I never expected to be in this situation, but there's a number of parties out there who'll be having some pretty tough conversations with me in the space of the next few days.
And the supporters are the lifeblood of this club. Obviously, yourself, you are a supporter. The best help that they can give is by buying a season ticket, but what a lot of people want to know is there any other ways that supporters can help? Buying things from the club shop, for example. Yeah,
anything that generates cash. And I've just come out of a meeting with Dan. We're going to release the shirts earlier. I think we're going to do something to release the new kit earlier, which is something of a departure from what we've seen before. And we'll try and bring that forward so people have got something to really get excited about. But anything that can be done that generates cash for the football club at the moment will be extremely. It's far more valuable in cash terms than any loan from the government, because the loan from the government eventually has to get paid, and so it's extremely valuable cash. So yes, I mean we will have to do our stuff as the football club, and as I said, I'll come out of a meeting just to see if we can bring the shirts forward. That will generate some cash, and we'll do a deal around that too. Anything that we can do, creative and imaginative, the commercial team can be to generate excitement from the crowds, to bring in cash in this difficult time, I will pretty much sanction it.
And away from the supporters, almost, you've got the players as well. Are the players self-isolating, and
yes.
If so, somebody's asked what's their current fitness regime, are they keeping themselves to themselves?
They are, but they've been strictly supervised. They have an individual. I was speaking with Darryl this morning. Actually, they have an individual fitness plan. You can only call it a training plan because they're not actually training. They're not allowed to come together as a collective group. But individually, they have these supervised training plans or fitness plans, which they have been sticking to rigidly. And one or two of the players have been carrying injuries for a while, actually. This has come at a good time for them in that respect. And now they've been given a couple of weeks now to rest, because we don't know what the season's going to be like. But it could well be that this season and next season become almost one and the same thing. And we need to start thinking and planning for that. I'm sure Darryl will speak a lot more about this than I'm able to do, but I do know that they've been working pretty intensively, but under supervision, but individually, and now they're going to be given a rest period in the expectation they're going to have to come back and probably have a very, very long season ahead of them, an extended season, because finishing this one and extending the new one. So they are in isolation, and in the same way as we are. They've just got a fitness regime to follow.
And on the topic of isolation, some of the older and more vulnerable supporters are in isolation, so fans have asked, can you give them a message from the club just to help them through this tough period?
Yeah, I mean, stay well and listen to what the guidance is. Don't think about breaking. I'm the same in my own family, I've had to give some very tough love about this as well. Anything the club can do, taking a season ticket to the house or whatever, putting it through the letterbox, we will do it. But a message to all of the fans, but particularly those in the more vulnerable groups, is stay well, because we want you back when this season starts, and we want you fit and well. So just stay well. do as we're told. This is the last time I shall be in the stadium, by the way. I think we're probably going to face stadium lockdown. I would anticipate the next few days. I'm not meeting in groups. I should have been at the training ground this morning for reasons that are obvious. I chose not to. We just got to live through this incredibly difficult situation, but stay well.
Thank you, Leigh. And on behalf of Graham, again, he'd like to say thank you for answering the questions from the fans.
You're welcome. And I'm conscious of the fact that when you're in a crisis situation, the more communications you do, the better. So you might get sick of seeing me, but I'll be doing this quite a bit as the thing develops over the next few weeks and months. So thank you to all.